All right. So let's just, we'll quickly go through these, the general logistics information. Okay, here it is. And then you will have a breakout room discussion regarding the essential language and the activities in the plan. Okay, so here are the logistics, the date of the open lesson. Of course, it will be specified for each group. Observations, so some teachers might be observed, right? Starting on the 25th of November, and for those of you who will be observed, 23rd of November is the deadline for submitting your open lesson plan. For others, it might be a bit later, such as the 1st of December. And of course, parents and children, so parents will receive the email invitations, and you also distribute some printed invitations to students in class. Okay, and the role of the teacher and the avo guest, as you are familiar with, the avo guest will be there at the open lesson to help us with a few things. But here are the teacher's responsibilities very quickly. Preparation, of course, in terms of the essential language and the activities they're going to present, helping kids learn the lyrics, giving instructions to students on the day of the open lesson, what materials to have ready, what to put away, preparing the materials that you want to use during the open lesson, welcoming the guests as they arrive. We'll have a song compilation made of the books of the course book songs, which you can play once the first guest arrives. And for Bulgarian speakers, the teacher opens the lesson, informs parents about the questionnaire they'll do at the end, and presents the avo guest, and also is in charge of translating the lesson names for the parents. Okay, and parents will be shown a slideshow by the avo guest containing some information about the course. And yeah, all of these will be included in the checklist. Okay, after the lesson, of course, we close the lesson, we praise the kids, give the floor to the avo representative one more time, and play some Christmas music, which is available in the teacher's area. And we give out the feedback questionnaires. Okay, so I will divide you into two groups, and one of the rooms will work on the first half of the lesson, and the other one will work on the second half. And what you have to do is to go through the activities in the open lesson plan. If you've already done this in class, you can share some experience. Have you made any changes? How did you conduct the activities themselves? And it would be very useful if you could also share some tips for revision or preparation or any other tips that you find useful. So I'll share this in the chat. Okay. Here it is. Do you all have access to the lesson plan? I can also send it in the chat now. Okay, or you can access it, of course, through your teacher's area. There it is. Okay, and I'll divide you into two groups, and this will be fairly small groups. Okay, so group one will work on the first half of the lesson, which means okay, maybe it's really just activity 1 and 2, because the last activity is the Christmas picture with the yes and no. Okay, maybe we can divide it. We can discuss this one together. So room 1 will focus on activities 1 and 2. And room 2 will focus on 3 and 4.
But 5 is must and mustn't.
Okay. Just a moment.
I think room 1 should focus on 1, 2, 3, and the other one on 4, 5, 6, and 7.
But we only have 2, 3, 4. But there are 5 in total, and the last one is the Christmas song. That's why. Yeah,
Okay,
we have 5
is
activities.
Christmas.
Okay, so let's have room 3 activities 3 to 5. The last one is the Christmas activity 3 to 5. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to send you the numbers again. There is some fault, some problem with the numbering in the lesson plan itself.
There's no 6, but there's 7.
Yeah, and it's the Christmas song, which is
Okay.
actually part of the previous one. So focus on these. And if you have no time for the Christmas activity, that's fine. Okay, so let's have 2 rooms. Okay, room 1. Okay, and all right. And we'll have, I think, maybe 15 minutes. Okay, let's have 15 minutes.
Maybe
Okay.
we can ask to come back if we finish earlier.
Okay,
Okay.
and start. Okay. Hi again, everyone. Hi, Teresa, again. You left for a second.
I got my Zoom froze and then I got kicked out, so I re-entered. Sorry about that.
Well, the people from room 1, can you share what you discussed regarding exercises, activities 1 and 2? Some tips to offer to Peter, who hasn't done an open lesson before.
We
Or
were
just an
room
academy
3,
start.
Rumi.
We were room 2, but I'm asking room 1 now to
3.
share about
Okay.
the first
The
activities.
plan,
Mhm.
so that we can look at it. We were wondering if, because the first activity, it starts with some questions that the teacher is asking random kids, but then it continues with the movers format reading task, which is just 5 dialogues, which the kids do in pairs, choosing the right answer to the question, and then they read them as dialogues. But we were wondering if the group is big, what we could do. And Kate, what did you suggest? Do you remember?
Yes, I suggested if you choose in advance who you're going to ask these warming questions, maybe you can leave them out of the dialogues. So basically, everyone can take part. Others will, some of them will take part in the speaking activity where you just warm up to the actual thing. And then the others who haven't said if they enjoy going on holiday and what they do and so on, they can do the dialogues in pairs.
Yeah. Okay. And it's really important here to explain to the parents that this is a movers exam task. And they get to know what the format is like. And we thought that this is not necessary because it won't be too difficult to do the next task. Do you want to present it today, for example?
Yeah, so we were thinking that if we don't put it into lots of strips of paper, but actually give it them all, but then start quite soon after they have it.
Can you show the story there? I'm sorry, because it's open. You have it open.
Okay, I'll just me.
So
What,
then,
on the slide, you mean?
yeah, on the slide.
Okay. So I want to go back, yeah. Okay. There we go. So we've got this on the board and the children start working through it. And as you do it, you just click and the words start popping in as they do it. So even if they're not ready yet, you can get them to catch up, and you can do it with them if they haven't, if the last ones haven't been done yet, we can get them to do it.
Yeah, I think it's important here not to wait for them to finish the whole story, because it will be really boring for the parents. Just let them have a look at it for 1 minute and start completing the forms.
We mentioned in our discussion that there are some very small groups though. So would this be feasible for a group of 6? I mean, wouldn't that be too long? Or
might be an idea to split it in 2 for a very small group. Perhaps. I mean, that's the only advantage of, I mean, I don't think it takes long, but yeah, possibly if it's a very small group, you could split it in 2. Split the story in 2.
Or if you think the story is too long, you can cut the story. For example, you can start with the 2nd paragraph. One day, the pirates went to an island, hid the treasure. Not the pirates, sorry, Sarah and Jack. I mean, you can have only the 2nd half of the story if you think it's too long. If the group is really small.
According to the size of the group.
Yeah, it's a valuable edit. Okay.
Okay.
Shall I stop sharing?
Keep it here. This handout and slide, respectively, is supposed to be used in the alternative activity of the 2nd one. So if we show the 2nd activity in the plan.
That's the nature.
Yeah, natural places.
This one?
And in the plan.
That's already the prepositions.
You want me to go back to the plan?
Yes, please. If you scroll up a bit. Natural places, yeah. So one way of doing it is to show the slide with the picture with the numbered places, and the kids come to the board and just write.
I think that's better. I think that's much better.
You mean better than just asking them to brainstorm?
I have a problem with that.
Yeah, Georgi.
I have a problem with that because I can't write on the board, because it's not a board, it's a screen that comes down from the ceiling. So I have to change it a little bit, but I prefer that thing with the teams where they should come up with, words.
Nature words,
so I'll have to think of something a little bit different.
But George, how are they going to write on the board if you can't?
They can't.
Maybe prepare some kind of flip chart or something, or
they can write on paper.
Come on. No. Yeah, they're going to write on paper. I'll put them in Teams and ask them to write.
And it's even better, George, it's even better because they won't be able to see each other's words.
Yeah, I do that a lot with different topics vocabulary. Okay, I give them time to come up with as many things as possible. So it's not going to be a problem, I'm sure.
Okay.
So the idea is to show the correct spelling of these words. So either way works. If you show the posters later, if you board them, and if you check the spelling together with the group.
Okay, I'll think of it.
Okay, and then it's this guessing activity, right? The student with their back to the board, and then another student explains, gives a definition, right?
The hot chair game, yes.
Or gives the definition of a natural place.
Which means that you'll have to have had this practice of kids explaining words and the others guessing them. You can practice with some other categories of words as well.
Okay.
You could do it with the flashcards behind the hot chair child. and then someone can.
To show it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's, and there is probably a song here which students won't like, if time. Sveti, would it be okay? I mean, apart from the Christmas song, obviously, but would it be okay to cut all of the other songs out because of timing or because of kids being in the 5th grade and being bored?
But even little ones
Sure.
won't sing those songs. They're horrendous. It's just not going to work.
Okay, they're
Song is the only
horrendous.
option. It's just like,
Yeah, they also, I haven't listened to the songs from Academy Stars 4, but obviously students dislike them.
they're impossible to sing, most of them.
That's
There's no
another.
singing element in it. There's nothing you can't, yeah, it's just really, really very,
But
very.
And then if you want to change, if you want them to learn a song or a poem or something, it's quite difficult to find one that they like, first of all, and that fits the vocabulary or whatever they're studying.
We just miss some really good songs that we've had in other books, and this one just doesn't have it, unfortunately. The books, we've had songs before that kids really enjoyed learning, but they don't exist in Academy Stars.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's the first half of the plan. I've written down some suggestions for editing here that we might use to rework the plan a little bit. Okay. And then shall we talk about the second half quickly? The activities 4, 5, and the Christmas one. Okay. Shall I share the plan? Okay. So the next one is the one which is kind of connected to the previous one with the nature places. This is the prepositions of movement, right? These ones, across, into, out of, and the picture with the squirrel running somewhere. Okay. Well, Georgi, would you like to share what we discussed?
Well, the activity is okay. It's really good if they can come to the board actually and follow the movement of the squirrel. In my case, I'll have to think of something else, but otherwise it's okay. I like it. And I think I have used this thing. Now that we talked about it, but I'm not. I think I have done this open lesson. Really, it sounds super familiar.
We've jogged your memory. Okay. Sveti, is Lenny teaching Academy Stars 4 because she's entering the room? Maybe for the next session.
I could
Do
can
you know if
Simeon. Just a second.
No, but Simeon won't be joining the next session, and I guess that's Lenny with his account.
Lenny is
I
in
think
the
she
next
has
session, but
3.
she's not in Academy Stars 4.
Yeah,
Maybe you can message her in the
Yeah, I'll message
waiting room.
her.
In the
Okay.
waiting room.
I'll message
Okay. Yes, drawing the movement on the board, and also the idea here is for students to give directions, like where the squirrel should go next. Yeah. So what we've suggested here is the teacher gives a few instructions just to give them a general direction. And then my idea is to actually put some kind of an end goal on this map, like, I don't know, a walnut or something. And the squirrel has to get there, because otherwise they might be giving some kind of strange directions that go nowhere or go back.
I just can't remember. If the people who've done the lesson remember, please tell us. Does the student just think of an instruction and gives it to the others and they follow, or they have them written and they read them and the others follow?
I've never done this activity.
I can't remember.
Maybe we can have an alternative where if you think that students won't be able to give the right directions, maybe we can have them printed out and a student reads and another draws the route.
I was thinking, what if I give the directions and I give everyone a picture and they follow the directions, and then I show the picture with the whole route of the squirrel, and they compare.
They compare. maybe
Aha,
they
so like a listening activity, and then they draw the entire route, and then we compare it.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
It would just not be I can give directions, but it would be I can follow and listen.
I can follow in
Yeah,
directions.
it will be a bit passive for them,
But what if the students read the instructions one after the other?
at least.
They can, Academy
But
Stars
then
4
they'll
can
have
read
the
these.
directions. It's a different thing. If they read the directions, they'll have them in front of them, and they
They'll
can
have
do the.
But then when we project the ready picture with the correct route, do we ask them questions based on it?
Or probably, but still, I have a group which is 12 children. The other thing is you can give a numbered sentences, so they, they read 1, 2, 3 and follow the instructions. So they will have only one sentence in front of them, the numbered sentence, for example.
Well, if
You
I had
understand?
to do this activity with my group, I would give the first 3 directions, and one kid, one after another, the kids would be drawing it in front of everybody on the board.
Yeah,
and
the
then
drawing would be the best thing. I was thinking about my case anyway. Okay.
Yeah, and then I would ask them to continue giving directions, showing from where we've stopped, so they could continue and give the next direction. I think that would be more exciting.
Okay, well, maybe we should keep this one and then have an alternative for a weaker or a larger group.
Yeah.
Just reading out the instructions, and kids again come up, and maybe a kid can come up, 2 kids can come up, one of them reads a slip of paper with the next instruction and another kid draws, and everybody draws on their handout.
This would be better.
Okay. Well, the must and mustn't, I don't think there's much to say about this one. I think it's okay as it is.
Pretty
right?
clear.
Yes, it is.
Okay, the rules, the sports. Now, for the Christmas activity here, we have this picture in the old PowerPoint, which is a Christmas picture, a very simple one. And we personally thought in room 2 that some of these sentences are way too easy for Academy Stars 4. There are 5 blue stars. This is something that even a kids box kid can answer yes or no.
Okay.
So that's why I think Teresa came up with the idea of finding the differences. And I have just the picture for that from the supplementation library. So I have 3 sets of pictures. We have to check which one is the most appropriate, and we can ask kids to find the differences and describe them. And this is also a mover's task in the speaking, right? Where they look at 2 pictures and they find 5 differences, but here there are 9. So even for a large group, they can handle this.
And this is something we do in the quiz in the second term. But
this one is a Christmas themed vocabulary, so
why not do it in the first term as
okay,
well?
I will look at the pictures. I will see what the language is, and I'll choose the best. Maybe I can suggest 2 different ones. Maybe the first one is the easiest one, so for a weaker group perhaps, and maybe we can have 2 different options.
That's a great idea. Thanks a lot, Teresa.
Okay. All right. Now, I think we should make some changes to the plan, Sveti, and then re-upload it and send you an email so that you can check out. And also the PowerPoint is a little bit outdated, as some people pointed out. Okay. So we'll be re-uploading that one. Now, can I just ask you to complete a very brief, I think it's just 2 questions, feedback form, and if there are any suggestions you have.
And thanks a lot for your tips and help.
Yes.
Yeah, because neither Rumi nor me have had this.
I have never taught Academy Stars 4, so I'm just looking at the plan as a new teacher right now.
Yeah.
Academy Stars is better than Power Up, I can tell you that.
Better?
Yes.
Okay, so we are lucky.
Okay,
yes.
But okay, I'll stop the recording now, and you can go and please complete the questionnaire for about a minute.